great is our God, and how large is the story in which we live. We hope you might drink deeply and live out of that which you first received. Enjoy. Week 1, Bible and Theology. A Christian Theory of Everything by Sam Storms. Physicists and cosmologists are ever in search of what they call a theory of everything, an all-encompassing theory that can account for everything from the subatomic world of particle physics to the galactic expanse of supernovas and black holes. Brian Greene, professor of physics and mathematics at Columbia University, argues that for the first time in the history of physics, we have a framework with that capacity. Scientists call it string theory. The idea is that everything in the universe at its most microscopic level consists of combinations of vibrating strings. According to Greene, string theory provides a single explanatory framework capable of encompassing all forces and all matter. The problem isn't that Greene and others have gone too far in making this claim. The problem is they haven't gone nearly far enough. Greene is clearly drawn to this theory because strings make sense of every fundamental feature of physical reality. But what makes sense of strings? Why do they exist? If they explain all forces and all matter, what explains them? What accounts for the shape they take and the functions they serve? The answer is that everything exists for the glory of God. Everything, from quarks to quasars, from butterflies to brain cells, was created and is sustained so that you and I might delight in the display of divine glory. Only humans are fashioned in the image of God. We are the only species that establishes schools and conducts research and preserves archives of information. We alone have been granted remarkable capacities to reason and reflect, deduce, and conclude. We alone can glorify God by rejoicing in the beauty of His creative handiwork and relishing the splendor of His self-revelation in the person and redemptive work of Jesus Christ. We're touching here on the most profound question anyone could ever ask. Why is there something rather than nothing? The simple answer is that God chose to create. This was certainly not from the anguish born of need, as if creation might supply God what He lacked. God didn't take inventory and suddenly realize there was a shortage that only you and I could fill. So, what prompted God to act? The source of God's creative energy was the joy of infinite and eternal abundance. God chose to create from the endless and self-replenishing overflow of delight in Himself. We must begin with the recognition that God delights infinitely in His own eternal beauty. When God the Father gazes at the Son and sees a perfect reflection of His own holiness, He is immeasurably happy. The Father rejoices in the beauty of the Son and Spirit, and the Son revels in the beauty of the Spirit and Father, and the Spirit delights in that of the Father and Son. God is His own fan club. God created us out of this eternal community, this overflow of mutual love, delight, and admiration, so that we might joyfully share in it to God's eternal glory. God doesn't simply think about Himself or talk to Himself. He enjoys Himself. He celebrates with infinite and eternal intensity the beauty of who He is as Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And we've been created to join the party. To relish and rejoice in the beauty of God alone accounts for why we exist. Enjoying God is the soul's sole satisfaction, with which no rival pleasure can hope to compete. Glorifying God by enjoying Him forever. It's the Christian theory of everything. For reflection or discussion, does this view challenge your assumptions about life and the universe? If so, how? What are the greatest barriers to your enjoyment of God? Perhaps you're not enjoying God as much as you would like. What step could you take to begin to change